Okay, nice. Great.
All right.
Thanks, Austin. Yep, no problem. Look at me, I'm sitting in the dark.
No, usually you're like, what's it, not unsolved mysteries?
I like to be in the dark.
Hey, Rich, who you got in classroom two? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dustin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Right
can
up
hear you,
there to
Scott.
the screen.
Who are we missing?
Yeah.
Hey, Rich, can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
No.
Are you can anybody hear you from here?
What's that?
Can anybody out there?
Yeah,
hear
if you
you?
just give me a thumbs up. I haven't heard anybody yet. Can't hear you, Dustin. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
He
Austin,
can hear us, we just can't hear him.
Austin said we were good. Chief, can you try yours? Try talking.
Yeah, I think you should be able to hear me. I had to
Can't
get
hear you.
Cam to help me out with
Sorry.
ours, so.
I'm just gonna turn off my camera because won't let me do anything.
It says that your microphone is muted at the police academy.
heard that.
Hey, Mark. Okay. Sorry about that.
Right, Dustin, can you speak up again?
Yeah, sure. Who are we missing?
Okay.
Director?
So Eric Clifford is in a restaurant in Florida. He's gonna try to get out. He doesn't think he will. And Perkins is in spotty service. I saw Lillis on here. Yep, I see him. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, is the director joining us today or?
Yeah, he's sitting right next to us. We're
Okay.
on a laptop screen.
Okay.
We got it.
All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order then. So it looks like the first thing on the agenda is to review Berry City's bite. Rich, do you want to take that away? Give us the details.
Sure. Yeah, I talked to him a lot about it. His affidavit's pretty clear. There's a known guy, bad guy, has fought before. He had the dog come out basically in a sit watch first. They ended up getting into a fight. Guy tries to get his pepper spray, gets into a fist fight. While they're on the ground, they tumbled around. His dog came in and he made a quote unquote bite. Dog didn't really puncture skin. I had pictures I forgot to send them. It was basically some scratches. Tried to have the dog re-engage. The dog wouldn't re-engage. That was not in the affidavit. I don't think. Yeah, it was at the end. But yeah, as far as the training, that's all we're supposed to look at. I think it's fine. It's nothing. The bad part would be his dog probably should have engaged and held on to the person. But he was in every right to send the dog. So that as far as his training was good. So I don't have any problems with it, except the dog didn't bite and hold.
Okay, Mark or Scott, do you have anything? You guys good with it?
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with it.
Great. Josh?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, it looks good to me too.
So I think we can move on. We're going to talk about the Logan as instructor application. I reviewed the application. The only thing that wasn't clear, I don't think, on the application was, is he at 5 years Canine?
He's only required to do 4. 5 years for committee. 4 years. 4 years for trainer. Actually, 3 years. 3 years for instructor.
Okay, sorry, I was a second committee member. Okay. So, instructor, is this a request from the director as well, or is that just committee?
I think it's us, and then if we agree to it, we go to the director and he approves it. Thing.
Okay. We'll just go around the table. Scott and Mark and Josh, are you guys good with Logan as a in-service instructor?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Absolutely.
And am as well. Was there a comment there or no?
I think it's just some background noise.
Okay. Rich, you're obviously good with this too.
Yeah, he went through one of my schools in 2021, and I actually went to him about it, so I'm good with it.
Okay. We'll send it up to the director then for final approval. So the next on the agenda is talking about the canine position update. My understanding, there was some interviews held and the applicants did not meet qualifications. Has there been any? Is that true, or any insight on that?
I can't give you too much of an update other than the information that you're hearing is accurate. We had 2 applicants for the posted position. One who didn't meet the criteria at all. The other who did partially, but really more on an instructor level, not as a trainer, lacks experience in the training piece, which is the one piece that's the most critical to what we need right now. So we're just in the process of figuring out where we go next. I mean, I think we're kind of stalled in the contracting position and, you know, that's really a decision that's up to Rich to be able to, you know, manage with us or not. And then us going back out to either re-advertise again in the hopes that there's folks that either express an interest or that your committee has been talking with or recognizes as somebody that might be a potential candidate. I can't beat the wood to get candidates to apply. The position was difficult enough for us to get, and we only have a certain amount of say in what that job classification is posted for as far as the cost and the pay of it. So we send it up to classification, that goes through a whole HR process, and then they come back with what that pay is for that position. So I don't know that its pay is what is holding anybody back from applying. I mean, everybody would always want, you know, the pay scale to be more, but I don't know that that's the reason why we're not getting applicants from the outside.
Does anybody have any comments other than me or?
We may also, I mean, if we're in a situation where we can't come to any agreement, we may have to put it out to bid for another contract to see if there's another contractor that has an interest. We haven't done that because we were kind of hoping that we would, you know, be able to work out something with Rich, but so far we haven't, you know, come to terms there.
So safe to say, those 2 applicants were not offered a position.
Neither of the applicants that we looked at were offered a position because they didn't meet the criteria.
Thank you.
And it's not that they didn't have skills or things that you're all looking for, just not in the area of being a full-time trainer, being able to correct issues.
So our options at this point are our negotiations with the current contract, reopen with maybe different recruiting techniques, or push it out to an advertisement for another contractor. So we're at 3 options basically.
Yeah, the options are, you know, we've discussed with our current contractor who sits in the room here with me, where we're at. You know, I really don't want to get into what those negotiations are, but we're kind of at a stalemate here, and you know, where that puts us in is a position of either having to re-advertise the position, which I don't really expect is going to garner any new leads in a quick amount of time, or to rebid for another potential contract with any potential interested contractor.
Okay. You guys have any other comments, questions on this?
No.
Before we move on.
Well, my only question would be, is do we have a cutoff time as far as the current negotiations can't come agreed upon to what, do we make the next move?
Yeah, no, a lot of echoing, Scott. I didn't make that out.
Yeah, so do we have a deadline as far as current negotiations to what we do for, or what the academy does for this next move?
Do we have a deadline on making a decision on kind
Deadline as far as the position goes?
Yeah, well, his contract is up December 31st, right?
It's killing me.
because
The-
the contract's up in December, do we have a deadline on current contracts?
Yeah, I mean, we currently go till the end of December, right? We've been talking with Rich about a potential extension of that contract. I've also had some conversations with VSP, looking at what options are available there, if any. I do know that there's a desire to rejoin everybody back together. However, I don't speak for that agency, or their program. So, and then again, I hear other factors that there might be folks who left their current program that might have an interest in coming back. And I don't know if that's out of necessity or whether that's out of desire. Because that's two entirely different processes for me in how I view that. So for folks that, for folks that left, that might want to come back, that would be absolutely agreeable and fantastic, but it doesn't negate the work that they would have to do to come back and do the work that, you know, your committee has put together for the standards.
Okay.
Mark, questions, comments before we move on?
If
No.
people want to return, for those that left and want to return, would they have to just get with Rich and come up with like a training plan to come back? Or would they have to complete something or something else?
No, I think we've had that discussion a few times. Rich would, you know, come up with whatever that,
It's in the standards.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it'd pretty much just be as if they weren't completing their hours. They'd have to just do that process the same as
They
if
would
they
do it-
were.
They would do it like a waiver, basically coming in from another state or whatever. So there's a requirement with head trainer. And I
Yep.
think it's 4 months of in-service and then an evaluation, basically certification.
Okay.
So the evaluators, head trainer would be involved. So it's not extremely difficult, but there is something to it.
Okay.
I guess we'll revisit this conversation next meeting. So let's talk about, well, I guess plans for 2026 classes is kind of dependent on this on the canine position update. So I guess we can move past that. And then the next section is this camp. I'm sorry, what?
Do you guys, as a committee, have an, you know, have an idea of what the need is, like folks that have committed to wanting to go to a school, like what is the need so that we would even know who is looking to. We lose them?
No, the computer decided to cooperate. You're good.
Oh, hang on a second, we just lost you guys on the screen, but
We can still hear you.
what I'm looking to do is get an idea of out there in the field, where's their interest in who would potentially be signing up for a school, so that I have an idea of what's out there.
I'm not aware of any, but are you guys, any PDs or DMV or?
I mean, I think our agency is looking to put a dog on. We've
Okay.
been without for a while.
Rich, have you had any inquiries at the academy?
New Hampshire wardens are talking to doing one come spring. And I want to say somebody else, but I can't remember.
Detection or
I think for the full thing, but I don't even think people realize it until we post it, that we're gonna be doing a school, you know?
okay.
And I'm not sure. DMV had a goal of 4 dogs. I don't know if they're staying up north, what they're deciding to do. And somebody was talking about, I think Burlington's inquiring too, what we're doing. Cause I think they're lacking patrol school. So, I don't know, I'm sure there's a few out there.
So if you don't mind, Dustin, I'll just jump in for a second. It's Paul Doucette. I know it says Cam Grandy. I had some technical difficulties logging on, so Cam came in and fixed that. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, there's a general membership meeting for the Vermont Association of Chiefs of Police. I am happy to ask chiefs if there's, for the chiefs that actually attend, if there's any interest in a canine training program, the full program, as Rich said, and then I can get back to Rich and let him know, or Dustin, I can email you, or however that works. Again, this was only my second meeting, kind of sitting here, just kind of trying to take things in, but I'm happy to make that contact with all of the chiefs. If we don't have a good turnout tomorrow, I can also send out an email reminding them that I'm representing them on this committee, not saying too awful much right yet, but at the same time, letting them know that decisions have to be made about whether or not we're going to push forward and look for another trainer, or we're going to move forward with a contracted trainer who I think has done an amazing job, at least with the 2 dogs that I have here in Bennington. And we have to give the academy a little bit of information so that there's some direction here. Waiting for training to get posted on the academy website isn't going to work. If we don't have people that are interested, then Director Brickell is not going to work awful hard to find someone to fill this position, or go with a contracted position, because it's not frugal. So I would love to help you as best I can. That's the other reason why I agreed to be on this committee, is to help all of you try to push a plan forward. I mean, with my 2 guys and in talking with other canine handlers, there's been issues with training and things like that. I'm very well aware of that. And I think Rich Slesser has done an amazing job. We had that little graduation ceremony here 2 weeks ago, and we did some demos. It was fantastic. And I want to do my best to help all of you, and I'm your go-to guy with all of the chiefs. And I'm happy to share any information you would like me to share, but I'm not going to share and step on your toes. So give me a little bit of guidance. Tell me what you'd like me to do, and I'll make it happen.
Yeah, thank you, Chief. I think you hit the nail on the head there with, and even Mark's here today, a department that's once a canine, that takes a year of planning to do usually between personnel and getting a dog. So it's just like, usually we need direction that there's going to be a program before we even start looking into putting a dog on. So I think we need to do something here quick with the contract position, or whatever direction we're going to go. Because it's hard for the chief to put out like, hey, who needs detective school, who needs patrol school, and then like 3 or 4 departments say we do, but there's nothing promised by the academy right now. Like, Mark, am I right? I mean, if while you're looking to put it on a canine, you're not going to just start the conversation with your PD until there's something set in stone at the academy level.
Well, that's just it. Figuring out when training's going to be, if it's going to be at the academy, they like to look elsewhere for training. That's the kind of thing we're looking at. Hoping to do at the academy.
Yeah.
Chief, I plan on attending that meeting tomorrow too, so if the two of us can kind of tag team or get some feedback from the chiefs, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I know Rich is in the room, so it's a little bit awkward, but, I plan to tell the chiefs that I'm very satisfied, extremely satisfied with how our last two dogs have come out of the academy, and what they've been able to, do so far. I mean, Grizzly's new. But, I think that, his handler, went to the academy with some thoughts and came out a changed man, which I'm very happy about. And the thing is, like I said before, I want to do what's right by the academy. I've seen the product that Rich Slusser is able to produce, and the product's great. And if we can, I'd like to see, and I haven't had an opportunity to talk to Rich, but I'd like to see this position as a contracted position, and extend it through December of 2026. And then we know that the academy's got a program. Look, we put it out there. It was out there for a while. You got 2 applicants. Listen, money is money, if that's even it at all. You've got people going to different places. You've got an agency that bought a dog that's allegedly trained, and the handler goes through a 2-week session with their dog. And I'm not buying into any of that, because I saw the bond that formed between Grizzly and Borowski in the time they've been at the academy. And I saw the demonstration where Grizzly just didn't care what was going on with all the crowd of people standing around, and he just wanted to work. And obviously that was learned at the academy. And that's the product that I think that law enforcement in Vermont is looking for. And if Rich Slusser can produce that, then I think that we should be extending a contract through December of 2026. And let's tell the chiefs and the sheriffs that we have something to look forward to in 2026, and continue our planning. But we're going to have to be able to tell them that this is what's happening, so that all of the canine handlers also know what's going on, so they can keep their certifications and keep their 2 days of training, so on and so forth. And I know it's easier said than done, but if this didn't work out, we're in November. This contract expires at the end of December. I don't think we have time to put out another, request for applicants and going through an interview process and then getting that person up to speed and all of this other stuff. I think that, we need to say, okay, this didn't work. So next year, we're going to have the same contractor, same position. If you can work something out with Rich, I'm not getting involved in that. But I think what we need to give, we owe this to the chiefs, the sheriffs, and all of the handlers in Vermont, and everybody else that we train. So that's my thought process. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I am going to present to the chiefs tomorrow that, we need to get some type of head count into the academy about who wants to train or have a canine team, and what we're doing with that. And we all know it's not that hard. If you live in a good community, it's not that hard to get a canine program up and running, because people want to give you money far more than what you actually need. So that's my thought process. And Director, I definitely will see you at the meeting tomorrow, but I just want to put my 2 cents in. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, we'll move on to canine standards. It looks like it's just GSR being discussed. Has everyone got a chance to review the changes? They probably don't relate to your detection work, but Rich, do you just want to go into why it's important to make these changes, I guess?
Yeah, just my ultimate goal, like, this is a cleaned down version compared to what we had. We used to have crowd screening and this and that. This cleaned up a lot. I would actually like to mirror this probably all detection and then just have a subcategory. This is your detection, but, so some of the old ones that were in the standards were some of the old powder that used to exist. They're not really powder dogs anymore. A powder dog would be more in line with a bomb dog, unburned powder. And then it was just a hodgepodge. So this just cleans it up. This is very heavy nest pack. Although this was part of our standards too. Dustin, I think you were involved right in the last one as well, Bobby. So, this was cleaned up, took out the crowd control. Part of this, Dustin started texting me right after this. The stuff I had highlighted, the lubricants and stuff like that. In other states, like Connecticut, Mass, guns are illegal. The dogs are usually probable cause dogs. Vermont, New Hampshire, they're administrative alert, right? So you're not gonna seize a person off of an alert. It's not like a drug dog. So it has always been in my head, I used to argue it with NestPack, why don't we use Hoppy's number 9, right? That's gotta be so easy for a dog to smell. They would always fight it. So up here, we can do what we want, right? So I highlighted them in green, hoping Dustin would reach out to me on it, and he did immediately. So whatever you guys want to come up with on the highlighted stuff. I wouldn't get rid of all proofing and distractors just because we have that for other detection when we're doing odor recognition tests, stuff like that. So, but we can really dumb that down. Like that blank sterile gauze, we pretty much don't use the gauze and stuff. Keep that there. Unburned, unfired ammunition, so live rounds, and maybe a couple other things you think of. You know, like with drug dogs, it would be any vessel we put the drugs in. So the metal tins, if we use duct tape, if we use evidence bags, whatever it is, we can leave that pretty blank. And other items, you know, so just list 2 and other items, so we could just come up with it on our own. But we can keep all the gun oils and stuff out of it. One other thing, Chief Doucette reached out, number 4, above that, the materials, training aids. So number 4, it says semi-automatic and automatic rifles, in parentheses, assault weapons. And he said, change that to modern sporting rifles. Chief, are you saying that just like because like the assault weapons doesn't look good or what? I mean, I have absolutely no problems with it. I'm just trying to figure out the reasoning.
I mean, as a firearms instructor, I can tell you that the term assault rifle really, it's a turnoff to a lot of people. Are we searching for just assault rifles, or are we looking for modern sporting rifles? And so that's why I thought the terminology should be changed to modern sporting rifles, because they're not just used to assault people. There are actually people that use AR style rifles to hunt. I think Dustin could probably give us more on that. But there are people that use that platform, and I just think that a modern sporting rifle is the terminology that is used more today than an assault rifle. And I thought that's, you know, as silly as it may sound, I wanted this. If you're gonna insert this, I thought everything else looked great. And again, after watching the demos and stuff, I just thought it would be more professional if it said modern sporting rifle.
So leave anything, or just number 4 will say just modern sporting rifle? Or do we leave the semi-automatic and automatic rifles? Take out the assault weapons.
I would take out the word assault rifle and replace it with modern sporting rifle.
In parentheses too, or no?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Do we have to list all those, or can we just use the word firearms?
Dustin?
You're number 4, right? I'd have to pull up the standards.
No,
As
but
far
we
as-
list like because we list, you know, semi-automatic pistols, handguns, revolvers. Can't we just use the word firearms and then firearm components?
I guess. Yeah, I don't, Dustin's probably the best one to answer that as far as firearms, because now we get black powder in there. Black powder is not supposed to be a GSR dog. You know, so like black powder is not listed there, but a bolt action is. I don't know. That's,
So Scott, the only thing I'll share with you on that is, and again, I would defer to Dustin, but now they're making muzzle loaders that are approved in Vermont, that you must fill out the 4473 to take possession of. You know, there are 3 different gun shops in Bennington that are selling those this year, and technically, although it is a muzzle loader, it is considered a firearm. So I think there needs to be some differentiation on that, you know, based on this new muzzle loader that's out.
Okay. Is there a way we can use the word firearms and then somehow exclude like muzzle loaders? Is this new muzzle loader, does it just use a 209 primer or is it?
Why are you excluding muzzleloaders in your target orders, Rich?
what's that?
Why are you excluding muzzleloaders?
I'm not. I guess I'm explaining away from them. Like what we're talking about a firearm is not what we want the dogs to be on. So I guess I'm just being devil's advocate here. I don't know exactly what a firearm would be considered as, and that's why, like this stuff listed, there's no black powder rifle on there, right? We don't, a true GSR dog is not a black powder rifle, black powder dog, right?
Why not?
Because gunshot residue, a gunshot residue dog is not black powder.
Well, it can be gunshot residue. I mean, the definition of what gunshot residue is just like the microscopic particles of propellant, primer, and one other thing there. I mean, GSR gunshot residue. You're saying it's not black powder firearm or an inline modern day muzzleloader.
I believe in like and I could be wrong on this, but I believe in most GSR training, black powder is actually a proofing agent. You
The
proof it.
actual black powder. So like, but if you fire the firearm, you're looking for some kind of ballistics evidence, whether it's the cloth patch or bullet, or even the gun after it's fired, would be considered GSR to me.
Yeah, I don't think it is, so I'd have to look at that more. I don't believe it is. That was why I always had a problem with GSR. New Hampshire had a problem with GSR as well in the NESPAC states. Because true GSR, I don't believe a black powder gun, expended powder, constitutes gunshot. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But even if you look under the distractors, this is taken from NESPAC. A distractor, black, smokeless, single, and double base gunpowders are distractors for a GSR dog. Wouldn't that be your black powder gun?
So would all your rifling parts. So all your modern day, sorry, your semi-automatics is double base smokeless powder. Single base smokeless powder is like your M Grands and all that stuff. Like that's one of the propellants. And GSR is just made up of propellant primer and all the metallic damage in the gun as well.
I mean, I'm fine. Put black powder in there. That's, this is your wheelhouse, not mine.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Unless you have some kind of, I don't know. You said Connecticut is saying this is not.
Well, yeah, some of the New England states, Connecticut, I know they do lineups on people. They'll pull them out of a car, the dog can alert the people, and they'll arrest that person like we would drugs. So they use them as probable cause, and that's why we've always had a problem. And the way we kind of got around it was the dog certified, we recertify them to our geographic location. So we might want to put them on other things.
So, just the definition of like GSR, if you look it up on Google, is like the discharge. The residue is the mixture of the burnt unburnt component. primer and the gunpowder propellant. So like like even when you fire a 9mm handgun, the propellant's still in that mixture, that compound, which is double base smokeless powder. But they proof off with loose powder, correct? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. But the way it's listed, if I read it, it doesn't say expended powder, so they could just be meaning live powder, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they just mean like our old school certification of like loose powders where we just did triple F or we just did we buy double base smokeless powder propellant from the gun store and you fill up the tad jar. That's what they proof off of instead of just doing strictly GSR. But my argument is that chemical or that is still in the makeup of GSR. If that makes sense.
I mean, we could put it down. I'll tell you, it's definitely different because the dog we just did, we did on pure GSR, and the dog will not alert to burnt black powder.
Did you fire it inline muzzleloader with a Sabot?
Yeah.
And
The Sabot, yeah, it alerted to a Sabot. It will not alert. We took black powder, we lit it off in a glass container. A small amount that would be used, and the dog will not alert to that. Now, it will alert to a Sabot though.
Okay.
And actually what I'm saying is that's modern propellant versus the first one was triple F. Triple F, the dog will not alert to.
yep, but it was fine with Pyrodex pellets.
Yeah.
Sabot. Okay. So yeah, so we just need to add what they call that modern day black powder substitute is the definition in the dog world. So we need to add modern muzzleloaders to that section in the GSR for sure. I would also add black powder.
I would too. I would as well, like up
Yeah.
here, yeah.
I mean, where I'm from in Pennsylvania, we have a flintlock only season. So like you could get that like for game wards, you can get that patch flying out and the dog can alert on it. So we need to I would think we need to add, not that anybody in the state of Vermont really uses them, but who knows, maybe antique style hunting will come back. Somebody with a challenge. So I'd like to add that in there.
So, okay, I'm good with that. So under the target odors or whatever,
Yeah. And
do
then
we go back to what Scott was saying and just firearms?
you could just do firearms. I mean, I don't know what the ATF definition of firearms is, but maybe we should just look up what their definition of firearm, and which I don't think is going to be black powder because felons are allowed to have black powders, but they're not allowed to have the modern day with the 209 primer, unless that changed.
All right,
But,
if you want, just, we can keep what we have, who cares, I guess, at this point, and just, add what you think, so however you wanna word it, modern day black powder, how do we get in the primitive black powder, the flintlocks? Just figure out what that's called, might as well
Yeah.
throw that in then too, you know?
You can put flintlock or muzzleloader or black powder muzzleloader.
Okay, so we just add those, we're good with that?
You can take out assaultive weapons as well. That's fine, and use modern day rifles or
Yep, so I rewrote that. It says semi-automatic and automatic rifles, modern sporting rifles in parentheses. Is that right, chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I mean, you don't even have to put like modern day because you have semi-automatic, automatic, you have bolt action rifles, semi-automatic and pump bolt action shotguns. All those could be classified as modern day firearms, hunting rifles.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think, if you just simply remove assault weapons and leave semi-automatic and automatic rifles, I think that would be sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we just would clean that up and then we'll just, the proofing one was the other one, how we wanted to do that.
Well, you have the terminology recommended. It just says recommended, correct?
Right, I don't want to pull out that section, proofing and distractors. So if we can just list a couple and others used in training or something, you know, so take out, say your oils, lubricants, remove all that stuff I highlighted green.
Mhm.
And we just keep a couple things in there. 'Cause
Yeah.
we should keep that section because it goes into the odor recognition test.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And you understood the problem. I just like 3 of the 4 dogs were imprinted on the old school loose powder stuff. So the only true GSR dog that we have currently is Spike.
Yeah, and I'm in full agreement with you that the dogs should be able to find guns if they catch Hoppy's number 9, right? I agree 100%. So we'll just reword that. We'll remove all that stuff. And I'll just figure out a couple things to throw in there that, you know, live rounds, stuff like that. We can just say are distractors.
Yep.
Okay.
But other than that, the standard look great. I like how it's universal with other detection certifications as well.
Yeah, so for everybody else, there'll be 8 fines for the GSR dogs. There's 8 fines for the narcotics dogs. If we brought in a bomb dog, we'd figure out 8 fines. So the classification is a detection dog. The subsection would be what the exact discipline is. So every detection dog will do 8 fines. It'll be fair. They'll all have 4 areas. So it makes it the same across the board for all detection dogs.
Excellent.
I don't, can we vote on that now without specifically rewriting that?
Yeah.
We should be able just to vote on it with those. I was gonna say, we should be able to vote on it with those changes made.
Yeah. You wanna do that, Dustin?
Yeah. All right, I'm good with it.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Aye. All right, so that goes through.
Just pull up. Am I missing anything? I just got to keep going through different emails.
Next is the waiver process.
Okay. Is anybody else confused with the waiver process? I'm still getting a bunch of questions on how we proceed with that.
Yeah, I think Director Burkell walked out. That would be good for him to actually explain this.
It's like basically, if you guys came up with anybody prior to 6 months, you do like can't remember, a 3-day or something with you, and then if it's more than 6 months, you do a 5-day. Or you went back and forth because the original one you voted on, you realized that the time frame didn't really make sense, so you didn't come back and talk about it.
Are you looking for the waiver process? Like if somebody gets deployed or something, or are you looking to come into the program or?
Yeah, I'm looking for the waiver process if somebody was going to go on, long-term disability or deployment, parental leave for a number of months, stuff like that. What did we agree on, or what's in the standard now?
Trying to.
I thought they just had to make up the days when they came back. right?
Yeah, but I thought we shut that down because if somebody's on a 10-month, 12-month deployment, then we're not gonna do 24 makeup sessions for odor and tracking.
Yeah, we talked about if somebody's out,
It was
it's
before
one to-
6 months and after 6 months. If you remember that.
yeah, it was something before 6 months and then after. So, and it was go to basically the head trainer for 1 to 5 days. I mean, the head trainer could after 1 day say, yeah, you're good to go. You didn't lose anything.
Okay.
That's what we talked about. We never voted on it. But I think we also said to muddy up the waters even more was like if they missed, it was like 2 months or something. They would have to make it all up. I can't remember.
Yeah.
By
that's
the
why we
next-
take-
By the next quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, so the way the quarters worked was January, February, March. If you missed any days, you have April, May, June, the next quarter to make those up. If you didn't, your department's supposed to get a letter saying you're behind.
Are we in agreement with that? Like, so that's a short term, like that's somebody that just missed a month for some whatever reason or 2 months. Are we good with that? From the committee standpoint.
Yeah, we are, and I believe the director is too. He stepped out, so I don't want to speak for him, but.
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the old way was if you missed 2 training sessions, your department was supposed to get a letter. That's why we switched it to quarter, so.
right. Standards were changed to a quarter so that you have the second quarter to become compliant. If you're non-compliant by the end of the second quarter, then you would be getting that letter. It was, the other waiver is for long-term
Right.
waiver requirements, like people who are basically more than 2 quarters who are, or people who are on leave wanting to come back. And then you had like a prescriptive, I'll find it and send it back up to the committee. If you want to bring
Yeah.
that back up at the next,
Yeah.
just to reinforce what it was that you agreed on.
Basically, it works if you have, sorry, go ahead.
Somebody have a comment?
I think there was just some weird feedback.
Okay, let's do this. Let's discuss it now, and then let's put it in writing. And come December, maybe our next committee meeting, have something in writing finalized. Let's just discuss it and then vote on it next meeting. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so my opinion, the quarterly thing works. If somebody misses a month or 2 months for maybe a sprained ankle, they make up that in the next quarter. But I would like to kind of define a long-term waiver moving forward. So if somebody's out for up to, let's say, like 6 months, for example, or a year, we're not going to make that individual do 12 sessions or 24 sessions as soon when they come back. That's a lot to make up. So we discussed, I think a few months ago, about this 1 to 5 day thing. So I'd like to put that in writing and get something finalized.
No, that was what we agreed on. at that meeting.
Lindsay found what we agreed on, so.
It was from the May meeting, so it was 0 to 6 months, up to 3 days evaluation by the head trainer and an evaluator at the academy. If it's a year-long period, or more as in deployment or medical, then it would be 5 days with a head trainer and evaluator. It's in the, so I put it in the chat too, if you can't hear me.
I'm a little hard at hearing, but you said
So it's 0 to 6 months is, we said 3 days with the head trainer and then a reevaluation, an evaluator. If it's 1 year longer, it's 5 days, head trainer, reevaluations, it'd be certification. But I think we mentioned, can we say 1 to 5 days? Leave it up to the head trainer to decide. So that would be the only thing I would throw in there, because why force somebody to go 5 days or squared away?
especially with a 5 to 6 year old dog, it's season. So,
Right.
are you guys good with that? So the only thing I'm confused at, it says the first one is 0 to 6 months, which would be a quarterly or 2 quarter or missing a few sessions.
But no, you would be you'd be a quarter behind. So if you miss 2, there's no way you can make up that previous quarter because you already missed the next one as well. You know what I mean? So if you
Yeah.
miss January,
Okay.
February, March, April, May, June, in April, May, June, you were supposed to make up January, February, March.
Okay.
So that's why we start that.
Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I like that a lot. As long as there's some sort of plan moving forward, so if someone is behind, there's a way to work their way out of it. That's good.
I think that was part of the discussion as well, was to have a action plan from the head trainer if there were issues.
Yeah, I think when they come down, say they're gone for a year and they have to do 1 to 5 days, I think it's incumbent upon the head trainer. They got to do some sort of little write-up, signing off on it, but then the evaluators as well. This is, well, especially after the year long, it's a certification again, it's a research.
Right.
So I mean, we have multiple people on it at this point, so it shouldn't fall through the cracks where we're just blessing people.
Scott, Mark, you guys good with those long term?
Yeah.
Looks good to me.
Good for me.
Let's so let's go ahead. I think we're on the same page. Let's go ahead and put that in writing, and then just we'll vote on it next meeting. So we have something to look at. Okay. Was that about it?
Yep, general comments.
General comments. Anybody have anything? Chief, do you have anything further you want to discuss?
No, thank you. As I said, I'll just bring up this information that we discussed earlier with the chiefs tomorrow at our meeting. And I'm happy to drop off if you'd like me to exit and continue on.
You're good.
So I like to say, Chief, this is exactly why we have you on here, because like we go out there and everybody's like, oh, you're a canoe club or you're all canine. So I'm glad you're involved in this. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and I'll do my best. I mean, I've been with the Chiefs Association for over 15 years now, and I'd like to think I'm well respected. So let's see what I can do to try to help the situation here.
Absolutely. Scott, Mark, you guys have anything you want to discuss?
No, I got nothing.
Okay.
I got nothing other than I'm coming up on my 1 year, so I think at the end of December I'll be done with the committee.
Okay. Josh.
Nope, we covered a lot of good stuff.
Okay. I had a letter of support from some of the students of Rich. I believe the director already got it. What I'll do is I'm just going to email it to you guys instead of reading it. Kind of long-winded letter of support. The kind of keep Rich around. What's working. So maybe you guys just take a look at it. Like I said, I think the director already observed it, but it's worth looking at.
I can comment to it from my perspective. I did get it. There's no, in my opinion, you don't have to write a letter of support or in support of Rich. I fully support the work that he's doing. I think he's been doing a great job. It's just, these are finances and his choices that he has to make in life. And that's kind of where we're at this point. And so it's not a matter of backing him or having the support for him in that position as the contractor. Um, you know, he doesn't have an interest in the position itself that we have, and that's his right, and he wants the contract. So that's where we're at. And I just want to make sure that you folks are all clear that if you'd like to spread that letter around wherever you want to do that, feel free, but it's not for any lack of support that he has here with me.
Understood. I think the only other thing I would like to mention is, like, I think the chief mentioned, extending the contract for a year. I definitely support starting with that. I think if you are going to have a bunch of departments come back to the academy, including Vermont State Police, this project's going to take more than 1 year. There's going to be a lot more teams. So I'd like to see if you do guys enter negotiations, possibly extend that to another 2-year contract. Speaking for myself. With that being said,
I'm sorry, Dustin. As a police chief representing a lot of other chiefs, I would support Dustin in what he just said. I mean, if it could be a 2-year contract and Rich was amenable to that, that would be absolutely amazing. I think that we have to look at the long-term plan for canine training at the police academy, especially if the Vermont State Police are going to come back on board. That's number one. Number two, there are many, and I think, Scott, you know this as well, there are many troopers that leave employment with the state and then become contracted employees with the state. So I don't see where this is any different. And I don't think that Rich should be treated any different. So, Rich and I just got to know each other a little bit through these trainings that he's been doing for us. And I just want to make sure everybody understands there are many retired troopers or in retired state positions that come back under a contract. And I think that's something that has to be considered here. Rich is a great trainer, and if we could extend it 2 years, that would be even better. So I like Dustin's thinking.
Paul, if I could add just one more thing to the mix to that so that you're clear on this process too, and any chiefs that might ask about that process. When someone retires from the state service, you're correct. Many of them do become either independent contractors or even take another job with the state somewhere else. If they become employed as a state employee, which is the position that we have, then their retirement that they would collect when they retire gets put on hold. They can't do that. They can't collect the retirement and collect a state paycheck as an employee. That said, I hear very often that, well, there's always special arrangements that are made for certain state employees, and I've exhausted every effort on my end to look into those. That's a discussion between a retiree and the pension board of if there's any other options there. So you are correct. Many people do go into contracting, but they do so that they can continue to collect their retirement benefits while they're also contracting.
No, sir, and I understand that. It's the same thing with municipal policing. You can come back to the town as a contractor or as a consultant, but you can't come back as an employee that works more than 23 hours a week. So I completely understand all of that. I'm just hoping that, we can work this out. I mean, it's not anything I'm going to throw out to the chiefs tomorrow because everybody will be running around. Our big focus tomorrow, Director, is to find out from the chiefs who's interested or who may have an interest in canine training at the academy in 2026. But I'm just throwing that out to this committee because I think that there could be workarounds, and not meant to offend you or Lindsay in any way. I just think that, sometimes when you have something that is working, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And we just got to find a way to work around it. So.
I hear you.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody have anything else? Rich, you good?
I'm good, thanks.
All right. I'm gonna motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend or week.
See you guys.
You too.
Thanks.
Thank you.